Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Gat Yap. I want to make a video about some of the knives that I carry and some of the knives that I use because there's some overlap, but they're not all the same. I'm making this video for video journaling purposes because I've noticed that my take on this has slowly started to change, so I just want to get my thoughts down early. And I'm not a huge knife guy. I have some. I'm more of a fixed blade multi-tool guy, but that's slowly part of what's changing. And you know, I open boxes, you know. What more can I say? So I've got a spread going here from left to right of ascending price, just some of the stuff that I have in my collection. So let's get into it. We have a $10 Walmart Ozark trail knife here. This is a $40-ish OTF knife. Here's a $40 Leatherman multi-tool, $50 pocket knife, $90 to $100 pocket knife, and a fixed blade that with the sheath and attachment costs maybe about $120 to $150. So I'll get into more detail of each one later or as I go along. But these three, I would say, get used the most, but not necessarily carried. And I'll start with one of the newer additions to my collection, the no-name $10 or $5 orange Ozark trail knife. You get these at Walmart. I love these. They're really great. I think that for $10, it's really hard to beat this. I use this to just open packages, cut stuff. This stays at home. I don't ever really carry it. It's just a beater knife, but I love it for that. Same deal goes for this Lightning Elite OTF. Before I got the Ozark Trail, this was kind of one of my dedicated unboxing package opening knives. It's a dagger blade and it's an OTF. I like it because it's just convenient. That's how I would best describe this. It's cheap and convenient. I like the fact that I can open up the blade and then easily put it away, because one thing I really just don't like doing is opening up a knife, you know, using it to cut something open and then setting it down like this to go dig into the box. It just bothers me. I like to have the knife closed, or the blade at least put away before I start messing with the package. So this made it really easy. I would never really carry this though. I wouldn't actually ever put this in my pocket and then like leave the house with it. Number one, because I hate pocket clips. I hate pocket clips that show. It doesn't matter if it's a deep carry clip, if it's the front or the back pocket of my jeans. I'm from somewhere where carrying a pocket knife can get you in a lot of trouble out in public. And you know, if just someone sees it, sometimes you never know. It could end up being like this snowball effect of just questioning. Before you know it, you're getting searched. So anyways, I've always been really cautious about wearing anything that has a clip, even if it were a pen that might look like a pocket knife clip. When I carried folding knives a lot as a teenager, I would actually carry the knife in my pants waistband with the clip behind my belt. So, you know, whatever. Here's something I do carry a lot. This Leatherman Wingman. It's got a blade. It's got scissors. It's got a set of spring-loaded pliers. And so when I do carry something like this, it's worth it. It's bulkier. It's heavier than a pocket knife, but I usually am willing to make that sacrifice for the extra utility. Plus, pulling this out in public, it just, in my opinion, it's a lot less threatening. You know, I don't look like a menace to society if I were to say, pull this out, you know, to open a package in the post office or something. And I would even avoid doing that. I used to just open packages with my keys. Yeah, I was that guy. Or I had a little doohickey keychain attachment, and I try, you know, to do all of my cutting tasks with that before I ever went to pulling this out in public. And I would carry this in a pocket organizer in my back pocket, and it was pretty hidden and well tucked away. And I still carry the multi-tool. I'm a big multi-tool guy. Here's a $50 CJRB Bolt pocket knife. It's good for $50. I'd say it's, you know, it's made in China. You know, you're paying $50 for what's probably a $40 knife or $50, however you want to look at it. I don't know how I feel about it. It's nice, but it kind of represents the kind of knife that I would avoid getting a bunch of these days, especially because something like this exists. So I'm of the mindset that if I can get something like this for $10, that'll do most of what I need something like this to do. I'll just get one of these and save the money, or get 5 of these and stash them. But if I have $50, I don't really want to stop at this mid point. I describe this as a mid option. And I know some people are going to hate me for that, but budget knives, if I, you know, I could get a bunch of them. I'm just going to end up with a dresser full of pocket knives like some of you people. So instead, what I would recommend, like I said, if not, just going with something cheaper that's, I think, a better value, saving up and going for something higher, like in the $100 plus range. And this is a Civivi Neurohaptic. I really like it. It's one of the pricier folding knives in my collection. I got it very recently. This is very representative of something I would probably never have, you know, paid money for 5 years ago, but I've stopped being so, I guess, rigid in my ways. And I know you can get $200, $300 knives. Heck, you can get $2,000, $3,000 knives. But this, to me, you know, you're starting to get something that I think is pretty cool and worth it. Whereas stopping here at like somewhere between 40 to 60 bucks it just isn't worth it for me, like I said, because I'd rather have a fewer selection of nicer knives. Unless you guys have a suggestion where you're getting the same amount of value like you get from the Ozark Grail that you can get out of dropping 50 bucks. If there's an option out there, because I hate the idea of putting all $50 knives in the same bucket. I know, you know, there might be something I'm missing, and I know my opinions in this video might change. Like I said, it's just to keep track of them. But yeah, not something I would just, you know, go out and buy like a bunch of different ones of these. I wouldn't. I'd get a few of something like these, and I'm starting to think about carrying something like this. Whereas, like I said, you know, recently, as of recently, I would have never. I would have stuck to carrying a fixed blade. This is an Esee Izula. I carried this for many years, never used it. Love the Esee Izula line. It's 1095 carbon steel. I carry this mainly if I needed something quick and sharp to get access to for like cutting a seatbelt or something. You know, carrying something like this represents, I think, taking life very seriously. And like I said, because I've started to sort of back off on that, I still carry this. I just don't do it as often. But back in the day, I'd carry something like these two. So this was just always there in case I ever needed it. Never really used it to do anything unless it was an emergency. All of the cutting tasks would be done with the multi-tool if I couldn't get away with just using my keys or my hands or something like that, you know. And yeah, that's where I'm at. So these would never really get carried. This gets carried still to this day a lot. This kind of gets carried today. And I'm thinking about, I probably wouldn't, I am carrying this just to see if I'm missing anything. But that's basically the conclusion I'm coming to, is that I wouldn't really bother with something like this anymore, because this keeps me happy just fine. And this keeps me happy a lot too. It's just sick. It's fun. I like it. It's a little bit flashy. It's like I said, the total opposite of what I typically would go for, but you know, you get older, you change. So I'd probably carry, you know, some combination of these, maybe just the multi-tool and the Neurohaptic on some days, or maybe Neurohaptic and the Esee Izula. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you've kind of come to similar conclusions or not. Either way, thank you for watching. Take care.